Hey everyone, I'm Sebastian. I like to experiment with AI and visual effects, and let me show you what I've been working on. So recently I've been putting out videos using Seedance 2.0 and really showcasing what it can do with really well placed reference images. And one thing that I haven't tested yet is reference videos. What happens if we use a reference video as opposed to just reference images? Can we control the placement of objects, characters? Can we control the camera movement? And I figured out that perhaps we can to a certain degree. It's not 100% perfect, but it gives you a little bit more control over the final image than if you're just using reference images and a prompt. So what we're talking about now is the equivalent of animatics for feature filmmaking. So as you can see, I went into Blender and I created this very rudimentary sort of scene. It's very simple. So first I'll show you what it actually is comprised of. These are this all started out as a cube, as it always does in Blender. So as you can see, I elongated this cube, gave it a bit of geometry, a little bit of displacement. Didn't actually create any of these things. You don't really need to. And I did the exact same thing for the ground, and I made it a little bit more smooth. That way the actual vehicle could travel over it without having to do a whole bunch of animation. From there, what I did was I actually added a particle system in order to create these rocks. So it's actually only 3 rocks replicated all the way through. Because it changes the rotation, the scale, and everything, it gives it the appearance that there's more going on than there really is. It's a very basic animation. I've got one curve driving the van and another curve controlling the camera, and the camera is actually tracked to the van. That way I'm able to keep the van within the shot. Now recently in Blender 5.1 and 5.2, they've added something called ray tracing, which in Cycles it's always had, but for Eevee, not so much. It gives it kind of a little bit more life. It makes it look as if the lighting is actually more realistic. Now you'll notice that I didn't actually add a lot of color when it comes to the ground, the van, the walls, even the rocks. Nothing has color except for the blue on the glow. You don't really need it. It just has to show Seedance the location of different objects in relation to each other, and also the way that the camera is moving. Now, one thing that's kind of important that I really wanted to touch base on was the lighting. Now, I wanted it to actually go in and out of shadows as opposed to just being top-down lit where everything's perfectly lit. No, I wanted it to actually look like you were driving through a canyon. And in the canyon, you're going to have certain bits that protrude that actually cut through the ground. And then that way, you'll actually see that the van cuts through the light, goes into shadows and whatever, and that's exactly what I wanted. It makes it look more realistic that way. So the next step from there is to go into Nano Banana, where we will create our reference images. Now, when I say reference images, I don't mean a first and last frame. You can do that, it does support that. I don't like doing that because if you give it a first and last frame, it kind of has to imagine everything that's in between, like in the middle of it. And the issue is, if it sees a character or an object from one side, but it doesn't have all the sides, it'll kind of imagine it, and especially for a character, it'll start warping the face in ways that you didn't exactly want it to. And so when it comes to, let's say, a location, recently websites like Higgs have actually started creating full 3D scenes where you can actually create a set and then tell the camera where to be and things like that. And so we're doing something very similar here. So I basically took a screenshot from the animatic that we made in Blender, gave it to Nano Banana and said, all right, make this scene into a realistic canyon. Now you notice that it actually kept the shadow sections from the actual reference images from Blender, because if I didn't add that, it would have just created a top-down sort of lighting scenario and it wouldn't look real. Whereas here, you can see that we've got the harsh light hitting this side, but we've got this section where we know that the van's going to cut in and out of, and it makes it kind of look more realistic that way. So if we go over here, you'll see that the next thing that I created was the van. And I had an idea about a convey that could actually float, kind of like a hovering sort of system. It had to look old, it had to look worn in. And so I figured, all right, let's use a van that everyone knows and then convert it into something more futuristic. That way it'll kind of give it more life and it'll make it feel like it's something that's been around for probably 100 years, and then the technology advanced and they've had to modify it and make it actually work with futuristic technology. And I needed a front, back, side, undercarriage, and top view. If you don't give it all of these sides, it doesn't know what the van looks like. Like I could have easily just given it this side view and be like, all right, Just use this van. Take my word for it. It's a comfy van. And then it'll try and imagine what the front, what the back, what it looks like underneath, even on top. Like, it could probably give you a rough approximation, but it's not going to look exactly like what you want it to look like. In this case, I gave it every single side. Obviously, when I actually gave it to Seedance, I got rid of all these texts and just left the white background. That's crucial. Just use a white background. You don't need anything else other than that white background. And then that way, Seedance is able to tell exactly what the van looks like from every single angle. There's no guesswork. It knows exactly what it's working with. Same as with the location. Then it comes to the character. When it comes to the character, you need it to actually look like your character from all angles. Because if you give it a rough, like one side, sort of a 3/4 thing, if you give it a 3/4 image of your character and expect it to create a perfect turn in character, it's never going to do it. It has to look perfect from every single angle. And so what you need to ask for is a front, back, side, and then also a face close-up. That way he knows exactly what this character looks inside and out. Probably not inside, but definitely out. Now, the great thing at the moment is that Seedance is starting to open up a little bit when it comes to its restrictions. As you know, when I made the shark video, everything was fine and it could do actors, it could do kind of like, human characters. But then slowly over time, the restrictions started getting a little bit too intense where you couldn't even use a human. Hence why I've got a video of a mouse in space, because I couldn't do a human. I also used anime in order to get around the fact that I couldn't use a realistic version of myself. So now Seedance is starting to open up and allow people to use realistic images. Obviously, it's most likely going to stop you from using, let's say, a real actor or some sort of celebrity. But if you need to use your own characters, then it's probably going to let you do that now. And I tested that out. Lo and behold, I'm able to act in my own videos now. So the first thing I did, obviously with Nano Banana, was I created a few reference images in order to give the AI something to work with in terms of style, like a style sheet sort of thing. One thing that I did want to talk about when it comes to Seedance, about 15-second clips. I wouldn't suggest using 15-second clips. I did in the beginning. I don't like using 15-second clips anymore for two reasons. One, you're wasting credit. And two, the reason why you're wasting the credit is because the longer the video is, Seedance has more of a chance of losing its mind and basically creating videos that you didn't even ask for. For instance, with the mouse video, there's a shot in the space capsule where it was a 15-second clip and it didn't know what to do with the last 6 seconds and just put the mouse in front of flames and did nothing with it. I wasted 6 credits on a mouse standing in front of fire. It made no sense whatsoever. So what I've started doing is actually calculating, all right, if I need this shot to only be 8 seconds, I'm only going to generate 8 seconds. I'm not going to extend beyond that. In some cases, I'll actually do less. And then that way, Seedance can actually tighten the video a little bit more. So once we had all those reference images, ran it through and it screwed up royally. And the reason why it screwed up royally is because I gave it this reference image. So it used this reference image as a first frame. Obviously, my video starts out with the back of the van, not the front of the van, and sort of kind of tricked it a little bit and kind of got confused. And while it still looks awesome, you'll notice that it looks weird. And so what I did was I took away that reference image. I only gave it reference image of the location and the van. And all of a sudden, boom, it follows everything perfectly. It's got the shadows where they're meant to be. It's got the hovering sort of system with the blue light and everything. Everything looked perfect. And so you can see I went through quite a few iterations and I decided to add an explosion. And the explosion looked terrible in Blender and it looked even worse with Seedance 2.0. And so that didn't work out one bit. So with that in mind, it occurred to me perhaps I am going to have to use a reference image for certain things. So I decided to create this reference image. And basically all I did was get a screenshot from the previous video and told Nano Banana, please add a massive explosion in the middle. It doesn't matter that you can't see the van because it kind of just gives it an idea of what the explosion looks like, how it illuminates all the walls. And it's not going to actually create this specific explosion. It just gives it an idea of what the explosion would look like in this scene. So this was my first test. And the problem with this was it just wasn't listening. It actually gave it wheels at a certain point. Like it looks like just wheels. So you will have to do quite a few iterations to get the right shot. But as you can see with the very next one, all of a sudden, perfect. Except for I had to get rid of that explosion because it was actually destroying the reference image. We didn't need it anymore. So in this one, I got rid of the explosion from Blender, and as you can see, gave me exactly what I needed. Now, once I realized that I could actually add characters to the video, I thought I'd experiment with that. And so I added the reference of myself, and then boom, there I am. As you can see, it nails it, but there's certain bits and pieces that I have a problem with. As you can see, the wall glitch is out there. Now, what's happening here is something that not a lot of people are talking about when it comes to Seedance 2.0. Everyone thinks that it's a 15-second model. It isn't. This thing is a 5-second model at best. It's exactly like One, exactly like LTX, it's exactly like all of them. And I'm assuming what it's doing is creating 3 context windows within a 15-second video. In this case, it's a 13-second video, but it's using 2 context windows. It actually switches the last one out, and I'll show you how it does that. See, with Seedance 2.0, it's actually using cutting into other shots as a way to hide the fact that it can't do more than 5 seconds. And when it tries to do more than 5 seconds, you get issues like this, where it switches out. Now, if you've used Comfy UI to create videos and tried to do more than 5 seconds, you'll know what this glitch is. This is a context window switching from one to the other. And for some reason, it has to create some sort of different thing. We reach the 10-second mark. Where is it? There we go. And at that point, it switches to the close-up. Now, the reason why I couldn't use this one, because of that giant context window issue, but also the context window forgot that it's actually meant to be a hovering car, not a van with wheels. And that's a big issue when it comes to Seedance 2.0. It's not perfect. Now, is it amazing? Yes, you're going to get incredible videos out of it. It's not going to solve all the AI problems. And I'm not sure why people aren't really talking about this when it comes to Seedance 2.0. Everyone's just editing around this and then making it look awesome. But I think we should talk about this. Seedance is amazing when it comes to physics, but it's not perfect. And so essentially, I went through a few different iterations, creating different versions, and they look awesome. Like some of these look amazing, but then it screws up. And this happens a lot. This is a 15-second one that I was talking about that I tried. And as you can see, when it gets to a new context window, like 4, 5, boom, switches. So it's very strange why it does that. But yeah, it uses cutting or like weird morphing in order to change the context window. And I've got certain ones that came out that look amazing. Like for instance, this is my favorite one. I'm not sure why there was a campfire there or why there was a glitch there. As you can see, let's pause that. So if I go back and forth here, see that little glitch there? This will happen quite a bit. And it's kind of delayed, like a delayed sort of movement there. And then it kind of goes back. And there it is. At the 10-second mark, it switches to the new shot, which don't get me wrong, that was a great cut to go with, right? I don't know who he's looking at because there's no one else in the van. That was a great cut to go with. The only thing is, if I didn't want that cut, I just paid for it. In this case, I had asked for that cut, but not exactly this one, I think. But it does look awesome. Like, I'll give it that. Like, compared to something like, let's say, One, 2.7, or even LTX, this really stands out. Even though those models are a little bit newer, Seedance 2.0 still really stands out. Now, let me know in the comments down below, with this sort of technology, if you're a filmmaker or a visual effects artist, are you interested in using this in order to make movies, short films, even short stories for YouTube? Personally, I've got a lot of ideas that I've always had in mind, like stories that I've wanted to tell for years. And this kind of opens up a lot of opportunities in order to be able to tell those stories, whether it be short form, long form. I think the models that we're getting this year at the moment are going to open up a lot of opportunities for us to create feasible content that we can actually tell stories with. And it's quite exciting. If this sort of content interests you, don't forget to click like and subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Now, obviously, Seedance is an open source. It is a closed source model, so it does require subscriptions. But at the moment, it's become available to everyone around the world on different platforms. So I think it's really worthwhile checking it out. If you're interested in trying this out, check out the link in my description, and I'll see you in the next video.